Hesitation. It's a real nigga celebration. A dime block declaration. 59th and 5th Ave, granny house with vanilla wafer. It's the remedy to separation. Tupac in my generation. Blue pill in the fucking matrix. Red rose in the great pavement. Young black nigga trapped and he can't change it. Know he a genius, he just can't claim it. Cause they left
You
him no
already know what
space
it
for
is.
his planet.
It's your boy Mars,
So he get faded.
back in the building. Early on a Monday morning, early. Know I had to bump that nip. April 1st, 2019, 11 days to my born day. Dedication, yeah, this one dedication right here. This was. It's gonna take me a minute to get this through, because I know a lot of people who listen to social media and listen to the news, and you know what I mean, go through certain emotions when a artist or a musician dies. And you know, in this day and time, it's a little different, because you know, a lot of knowledge is out here for us to grab. It's not necessarily just, you know what I mean, reading the newspaper or listening to the news anymore. You know, it's a lot of hands-on things and people on the ground, feet on the ground in the area when something pop off. And today, you know, it's sad. You know, yesterday was March 31st, and Nipsey Hussle was killed in front of his store in L.A. on Slauson and Crenshaw. You know what I mean? If you know me, you know, you listen to the podcast, you always hear me talk about real niggas this and real niggas that in the street. And, you know, being of the street as far as like my family and friends and people I grew up with, and just being from the hood. And, you know, it's times like this where, you know, I talk about the hood. I talk about my hood every day. You know, I'm from Hooterville, Norton, New Jersey. Everybody know that. I say that every day. I rep that wherever I go, no matter how much money I make in life. I always do that, because that's where I'm from. That's my hood. I mean, like, in my hood, you know, unfortunately, we used to have a saying, like, we don't used to, we say it now, as reckless as it is, like, niggas die every day, because, like, you know, when I was a youngin', and even when I was growing, like, in my process of growing up, you know, people died every day. Like, it was just a part of life. It was so normal. And it's not just gang banging. It's just like, you know, whether you had cancer, somebody, you know, old age, or it was just their time to go, you know, like, that's how we grew up. And it's so ingrained in who we are. Like, it's crazy. And not just, it's rest in peace Nipsey, because honestly, I was a fan of Nipsey. Like, you know, I ain't just listen to Victory Lap and shit like that. No disrespect to anybody who didn't know Nip. If you showing love to Nip on social media, that's what's up. I hope you show love for when somebody die in your hood, or, you know, when your family members die, or somebody you was close to, or a coworker, or their family member die, you show love. And you know, it's really toxic right now on social media, because a lot of people love Nipsey for who he was. And Nipsey was known underground and above ground as far as this rap hip hop should go. If you really was into music, you fuck with Nip, you fuck with niggas like Dom Kennedy, you fuck with niggas like Absol, like mad LA niggas who didn't necessarily get a platform until they started fucking with certain people, and they were socially accepted by other people. But what you always heard about Nip, and in every interview I ever saw Nipsey Hussle, like, he was a good dude. He put a lot of people on. It's a girl from my city, from North, named Tay Trills. She do her thing on Instagram. She be doing her thing all over. You know what I mean? She's a single mom. She work hard. You see that. And like, I even seen her go out there and do a couple of photo shoots for him. And she not super famous, but he did that. You know what I mean? She met Nipsey firsthand, and like, she, you know, she spoke on it too. Like, you know, he was a great dude. Like, I never heard anybody say anything bad about Nipsey. And you know, it's gonna be the conspiracy theorists of, you know, he got killed because, you know, he was working on the Dr. Sebi thing, the documentary, I should say. And a lot of people are gonna make that assumption. And the reason why we make that assumption is because, and I have to say this with the all factual behind it, because you had, in the past 2 years, 3 years, I think it's been 3 or 4 years since Ferguson. So since Ferguson, majority of the activists that went to Ferguson, Missouri, when Mike Brown got killed, have been killed, especially the black men. 6 of them were black men, and like 2 of them were black females. And I find it very odd that they weren't the only ones there when this thing happened, and they weren't the only ones that was, you know, showing love and making and getting the word out and doing things in their community as well when they got back from Ferguson. But they all suddenly mistakenly got killed. And you know, people always be like, oh, y'all conspiracy theorists, niggas killed me, da da da. And it's like, oh, all this knowledge and stuff been on the internet in general, like all this stuff, right? So rightfully speaking, if knowledge is there for you to read, and in this knowledge that you're reading about COINTELPRO, where the government, the FBI, I should say, I'm not going to blame the whole government, because, you know, people like to get specific and point shit out. The FBI trained people to go into the Black Panthers and infiltrate the Black Panthers and get Black Panther members high and turn them against each other, and, you know, killed certain leaders in the community. Like, you have to understand that this black thing is deeper than rap. Like, they didn't kill Jay-Z. Why? Because Jay-Z is too much a phenomenal figure. To kill Jay-Z, you have to understand that you would break the fabric of society, because not just black people love Jay-Z. It's white people, Asian people, Arabs that love Jay-Z. It's certain idols who you can't just kill off, because things that will cause a surge in what they call activism or protest or restraint or resistance. That's what people don't understand. Like, this thing is deeper than rap. I usually don't put myself out here when it comes to this conspiracy theory thing, or just being a agent against, you know, the bullshit that the government does. But it's like, I'm getting older now. I'm about to be 30 in less than 2 weeks, and I always told myself I don't want to die for my people, because I feel like my people will never get it together. And that's for any, and that's not just black, that's for, like, you know, Spanish, certain Spanish groups, like, you know, Dominicans and Puerto Ricans, and like us as urban community people will never get it together, because you have people that don't give a fuck and only give a fuck about themselves. You have people that just love life so much that they just want to get by. They don't care about anything else. They're not worried about if they're, you know, I'm only worried about my family. I'm worried about my family. And it's not even, I don't believe some of the people that say that, because some people, they're not even worried about just their family. They worry about themselves. You know what I'm saying? They don't care if their kids make it or not, because they barely making it. So they like, fuck it, you know, I'm just gonna have fun with this shit and do what I do. And then there's those people that sincerely do care about their family and friends and their kids and their futures, and they don't want to risk it. And then it's the ones that willing to risk it, even though they taking care of their families and their friends and whoever else. They willing to risk all that to get the truth out. And I was one of those people on the fence, like, yo, I love my family too much. I can't let my daughter live in a world without me, because I chose to pick a side and be in the resistance and tell this truth about what we already know and what could be. You know what I mean? Like, it's evidence out here. Like, you don't think, like I said, the COINTELPRO, you had agents of the FBI going into black organizations, all because Black Panthers started grouping up with other, like, the Asian communities, and working with the white groups, and like really focusing. Like, you don't understand the depth of what a government agency will do, or a pharmaceutical company would do, or a lobbyist group would do to secure a bag. Just like you don't know what a person would do to secure a bag. Like how we talk down on strippers and be like, oh, well, she trying to get a bag, but she a hoe because she's showing her ass. Like, yeah, people do a lot. That money make you do a lot of evil things. No matter how much money you amass in life, some people want more. You could be a CEO of a company and still be like, oh, I want to do a scandal. You want to be Bernie Madoff because the money is calling you. It's that evil. That evil, which you think you can obtain anything with this money, which you really can. You can't obtain happiness in a sense of a closure if you're doing all these negative things to get there, because all that negative energy coincides. God and karma is gonna get to you one way or another, and they can coexist. You can believe in God and believe in karma. Like, that's real shit. Like, people just don't understand the depths of why people think the way they do. Like, you have the people that think at the surface, you have people that think below the surface, and you have people that think above the clouds. Like, it's really levels to thinking. Like, if you go throughout time, as black people in America, as the government itself started to make itself into what it is today, it's always been black people being the cross bearers. Like, Native Americans died first We were the cattle. We were the horse. We were the coal to make the steam engine go. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were always considered workers. That's what we were here for. We were not brought here for anything else but work. The Irish motherfuckers, I said this before in a podcast. This made me mad. As an episode, I previously, I got into a little, segue because I was tripping, I was upset, and I started going off about how the Irish came as indentured servants. Indentured servants means servitude, meaning you're paying off a debt to basically pay off your loan for the company paying for you to come to America. And then once these Irish got on their feet, they became what? Slave hunters, hunting after slaves that escaped. And then those people turned into police, and those people turned into government officials like judges and all this other shit. Even when they had the Irish mob and the Jewish mob and the Italian mob, you had Italian cops, you had Italian firefighters, you had Jewish lawyers, you had Jewish cops. All that shit came to be. And yeah, black people eventually started to infiltrate the system, but you got to understand, we didn't infiltrate the system in a whole. And some of these black cops, there's black cops in Chicago but back in the day in the 60s, when the Black Panther movement was really bumping in Chicago, New York, and LA. You got to remember these three places: Chicago, New York, LA. What happened in the 40s and 50s was, even the 30s, black people left the South because they were scared. They couldn't do it no more. A lot of them were like, yo, I gotta go. I can't be here. Left the Mississippis, left the Georgias, left the Alabamas. Some went west. Like, yo, we gonna go to LA. Compton used to be an all-white neighborhood. You gotta remember that. Then you went to Chicago. Most black people lived in the slums when they got there. Quincy Jones, he'd tell you how he lived in the slums. Lost his mother at a young age because she was crazy. You know what I'm saying? She didn't die, but she had to be away from him because she went crazy. I mean, he lost his dad. I'm just telling you an example of how bad it was in those times. Just like now, it's certain situations where you look at like, damn, how is this still going on in this day and time? Then you go to New York, it was the same thing. They were race riots in New York in the 1920s. You gotta understand, it's deeper than fucking rap, my nigga. If you really think this shit is fucking simple and like, oh, black people kill black people and that's all that matters, like, yeah, like, that shit sound good, son. It sound real good. Like, I hear you. Black people do kill black people. In my neighborhood, in the past 2 weeks, it was like 8 shootings, like little young dudes killing each other. And we all out here like, damn, like, we don't have the time. My generation don't have the time to go and sit out here and talk to these young kids no more because we gotta go to work. We got kids. But when we sit there and talk, I just talked to my little homie yesterday. Like I had time yesterday because I took off yesterday. It was crazy. I took off yesterday from work. I took a vacation day to treat my wife my fiance to the Millennium Tour. We went there. We had a good time. Shout out to our cousin Trey and his wife Melissa for giving us the tickets. We paid her for the tickets, and they hooked us up or whatever. We appreciate that because it was a good show. But before I even went to the show, I was chilling with my bros. I haven't seen my bros in literally a year and a half. And we all live in the same neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Like, not too far from each other, but our lives are so busy and we so caught up in our own thing that we don't even get time to chill together. And we was chilling and we had a good time. And I saw my little homie, he had just came back because he do work on the road. And I told him, I was like, yo, bro, like, on some real shit, like, you my little brother. Like, I treat you like I treat my own blood little brother. Like, don't be out here flashing your money, son, because you flashing your money all on Instagram. It's cats out here that know you and know you not like that. Know you don't hop off the porch like that. Know you ain't real like that in these streets. Know you ain't about to hold the strap with you everywhere you go. Like, and they gonna come at you. And it's not just about you, it's about the people you be with. You be with other little homies that's like family to all of us, and you putting them in jeopardy by flashing your money on social media, trying to get attention from whoever or get hype from whoever. And you got to understand, like, you talented, dude. Like, dude work well with his hands. He was just yesterday pulling the shock off his car and putting a new shock on. Like, that's not something easy that people could do in an hour and 10 minutes. He did it right there in front of me. I seen him. I was like, bro, you too talented to be out here worried about who like you and who don't like you, bro. Like, use your craft, use your hands to make sure that you able to get your money, take care of your family, and help out some other little homies to get out of situations like you was in. You know what I'm saying? And I felt some type of way because the only reason I felt some type of way is because, like, bro, like, I understand how the hood economics go. I understand how, things coincide and certain things happen, and we have to believe that, oh, it just happened because it's black on black crime. Like, yeah, I know that part. Black on black crime exists all day, every day. But you know why black on black crime exists also? Because white on white crime exists. Asian on Asian crime exists. Indian on Indian, Arab on Arab, whatever you want to call it. Every neighborhood, Jewish, Jews on Jews. Jews kill each other too. Like, bro, they don't talk about it as much because Jewish people, they have a. Excuse me, I had something in my mouth, but I mean, it's Jewish people have control of their own medium. You know what I'm saying? So they're able to control what's spent and what's not. You know what I'm saying? Black people don't have no control over media. Even our social media sites that we do look to, they all gossip websites. No disrespect. That's how y'all get y'all money. It's understandable. We don't have no reputable organization that we own and can try to control our own content. As far as like BT is no longer that platform no more because it got sold to Viacom. TV One is the same shit. Up Channel, all that shit is owned. All these corporations, it's five, like they said, it's 5 corporations that really own media. So you can't just step in the lane and say you want to do this. That's why they hate Tidal. Like, people don't want to buy Tidal because they're like, oh, ain't nothing on Tidal. But Jay-Z owns his own shit though. That's all that matter. I don't give a fuck. I mean, I fuck with Tidal. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you could pay for Spotify and Netflix be playing the same old bullshit, taking off the good shit, putting on new shit that you don't even like, but you deal with it. Hulu. You know what I mean? Like, it's funny how we as black people always talk about we in the struggle, we poor, we broke, but every time you look around, it's a Dollar General opening, it's a Family Dollar opening, it's a McDonald's opening or getting reconstructed, it's a Burger King, a White Castle. It's all these different organizations coming in here and building, and all these Arabs, these liquor stores owned by Indian people and Arabs, and what else? Laundromats that's not owned by black people. Or bodegas that's owned by Spanish people. Like, you got Spanish niggas that own bodegas in the hood and they don't even live in this hood. They live on the other side of town in North Newark in my neighborhood. Like, bruh, it's real shit. They not from my part of town. Like, and there's no disrespect to the Spanish people that's in my part of town. It's not a thing like I hate y'all or anything like that. But it's just a principle of like, everybody talk about the hood is this, the hood is that, the hood is so terrible. Like, I don't know why but it's businesses coming to the hood every day. Every day. In my city alone, I talked about this before again. I'm going to say it again. I talked about this before. All this, I'm transitioning through everything really, really with length for everything that I'm bringing to you because I want you to show you the proof of what I'm saying so that even if I know people that's going to be like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about or you're just making shit up and this, that, and the third. But you can look at it. It's common fucking sense. Like, I don't know how you could be blind to the fact and not see some shit coming at you. Full speed ahead. You could like I said, and I use my city as a prime example because I live in one of the biggest cities on the East Coast. I live in Norton. It's the biggest city in New Jersey. So, like, this is not the capital. Trenton is the capital. Trenton look like shit. Point blank period. Trenton look like shit all the time. They like, oh, Norton look like shit too. Yeah, you're right. It do look like shit majority of the time. But you know what's funny about Norton is? They going through a transitional phase where we're going through a transitional phase as a community where it'll be quiet on the set for a nice little while. Nothing won't go on. You know, it'll be 4 or 5 months, maybe 2 or 3 killings here. At one point in time, it's like 2 or 3 killings here. You know what I mean? And it was shit that was in the street known. Like, all right, well, this person got killed because they did this to this person. And, you know, this is a retaliation thing. And then it settled down because niggas was like, that's understandable. And that's an agreement. Like, oh, that person got killed because they did something to somebody. And then all of a sudden, it just be an outrage, a burst of it. Like, as soon as it get hot, it's like jungle fever, but with violence. You know what I'm saying? Like, black on black, you know, everybody just killing each other for no reason, all this other shit. And you be like, bro, like, why? How? Oh, niggas just being niggas. You right. It's some niggas out here just being niggas. And there's a lot of people that understand. It's 2 different types of niggas. It's niggas that's Niggas, like, oh, that's my nigga. And then there's niggas that's Niggah. And those is niggas. And those niggas is ignorant. And we don't like niggas because niggas cause issues. You know what I'm saying? And some people gonna say that's not, no, I don't use that term and I don't like the way you use it or whatever. You have the right to say whatever you feel. That's cool. You know, say that on your own time. This is my podcast. I say what the fuck I want. I don't care. But at the end of the day, going back to what I was speaking on with the being in a transitional city, you see it around you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people come up to my father-in-law's crib all the time, asking him about, you know, Jewish and white people. You know, oh yeah, you guys, you know, your house is beautiful. Would you like underselling it? People done stopped by my mother's house. She live up the hill on a nice little dead end block where I grew up at. And a lot of people, and we keep our block clean. So, a lot of people come down there and don't even know that's a part of Norton. But you selling your house? You want to sell your house? Ask my mom, she want to sell her house. You know why people come to want to sell people's house, want to buy these houses in this city? Because this city is about to be a hub. It's about to be popping. It's about to be clucking. As long as this money is flowing in America, however it's flowing, however they making it pop, however they doing what they do, you gotta understand, major cities, it's gonna be like that. You gotta remember, at one point in time, major cities, you had the slums and you had the good side. And when the good side was good, it was good. Like where I live now, with my people, with my father-in-law peoples, well, my fiance's peoples, her father-in-law, well, my father-in-law, her father, and her mother. This part of town, my parents used to live right up the street. My grandmother and grandfather, on both sides, and they didn't. And the people they lived to wasn't black at that point in time. It was white people that lived next to them at the time. When a lot of my older aunts and uncles went to school, they went to school with white people. It's the South Side, which is called Malcolm X Shabazz now. It used to be a predominantly white school in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. Keep it a buck with you. I went to Westside High School. If you look back at the old yearbook of the 30s and 40s and 50s, it was white people. You look at Weequahic High School, it's the same thing. It's books. If you from Jersey, if you from the immediate area like Newark, East Orange, Bloomfield, Linden, all that area, anywhere in this area, you go to your Starbucks and you will see a history of your local town or a local area. And majority of these towns is white. White people lived here. It wasn't no suburbs yet. You know what I'm saying? Once white people went to the suburbs, took flights to the suburbs, black people couldn't go there. And if they went there, it was a problem. Even in the north, not just the south. Even in the north, it was like that. And if you think I'm lying, look in the history books. Since everybody want to say, it's on, all this stuff is known, well, go look online, Google it. You can see it for yourself. Black people wasn't allowed to leave the hood. They wanted us to be near each other. And some blocks you had a doctor, you had a lawyer, you had a plumber, you had an electrician, you had all these people living on one street, and it motivated you as a youth to be like, it's people that live in my neighborhood that got nice jobs and got nice things, and I want these nice things, and my parents work 2 or 3 jobs and they trying, and this is when money wasn't really popping like that. Niggas wasn't getting paid. I mean, people wasn't getting paid $20-$30 an hour to do a job. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand the economic effect behind that in a transitional city like Norton that used to be white and used to be very profitable, it was a Macy's downtown and all that, and now downtown look like shit. You gotta understand, like, it's deeper than that. And the reason why downtown is shit is because black people in the hood, they barely go downtown. They want to go to Jersey Gardens Mall, they want to go to Livingston, they want to go to Short Hills, they want to ball out, all this other shit. If them same clothing stores was downtown, they still wouldn't go downtown because they want to prove a point to people that they better than where they from. You know what I mean? Our problem as a people is we always trying to prove that we better than somebody or better than each other. It's never like a universal understanding and respect for each other. And I'm not saying every community has that, but it's a level to it in certain communities that I feel like we can reach, but we not reaching it because we so degraded in this post-traumatic stress syndrome that we live in. Like in my city, I see it all the time. Like it's sad, and I know people like on my block. I grew up on a block where you had somebody who worked in the courthouse, somebody who worked in a doctor's office, that worked at an office in general, was an office manager, nurses, a dentist lived on my block. A dude that owned his own construction company had lived on my block. Like, I'd seen all the possible phases. Big time drug dealers who drove trucks. Like, it all was there for me, bro. It was all there for me and a couple of other people who was paying attention. Like, you seen it. I seen him when I was young. I had a homie who, I had 2 homies, my best friends. When I was like, my boy Mir, my boy Alex, still my niggas to this day. Like, they had that heart in them. Like, I need this money. I gotta get this check. I gotta get this bread. And it helped me, fuel me, because my father was a hustler. I seen him do and get his money and do what he had to do for us. He gambled. He did what he had to do when he fucked his money up. My mother worked and never stopped working. So it always was in me to be like, all right, you gotta get this money. You gotta get this money. That check. Gotta do this, that, and third. It was a hustle in me from when I was younger. And I never appreciated the life that I was living because I was so enamored by if I'm not getting money, I'm gonna end up doing something I don't need to be doing, like being out in these streets and being with niggas I shouldn't be with and getting caught up in bullshit. And I seen one of my niggas go down like that. I went to school with cats that got bodied, like in 6th grade. I was in 6th grade when I heard her. I ain't hear I was in the actual path of a shootout. You know what I'm saying? And I was younger than that when I first seen my first gun. Like I was like 6 or 7 when I seen my first gun. My brother bought a gun home, had a shotgun, double barrel, and under his bed. I seen that when I was young, bro. So that never affected me to that effect because I was smart enough to know that's not for me. Like, ain't no reason to go out here busting guns unless you really out here ready to do 25 to life for it. So that was always never put into my thought process of killing is the only way for me to survive out here, because I knew what killing would do to me and to the person I'm trying to kill. But I say all that to say, as a black person, I fear for my black men. I fear for my black women. I fear for my youth. I fear for these kids because it's so much out here for you to take. It's so much money out here. It's so much, not even just the money. It's so much opportunity out here for you nowadays that wasn't provided to you before. Even if you want to say, I want to get out of Norton because you think it's better somewhere else, everywhere you go is going to be resistance, bro. Or sis, it's going to be resistance. It's always been that way. If you lived in Norton in the 40s and 50s, you couldn't move up the hill to Ivy Hill. And if you did, you got harassed when you did. They didn't like that you lived up there. They didn't want you to live in the Ivy Hill section. That was considered too nice. Even the Weekway section was considered too nice. You had to live in the projects. And if you didn't live in the projects and you happen to live in a nice house in the Weekway section, they looked at you different, bro. A lot of these houses over here in this area where I live is nice. They big as fuck. Nice ass houses, bro. And you don't think that these people ain't gonna come back and get their shit? Think about that. You don't think nobody gonna come back and get their shit? That's like you running down the street, you drop your brand new iPhone. You're not gonna somebody pick it up. You're not gonna come back and confront that person? The fuck out of here. You gonna confront that person or you gonna get the police, and that's all they doing. Like with it's deeper than just rap, bruh. It's deeper than just rap. Like, this shit is ridiculous. Like, and I want this, and even though, and the social media thing is like, it's a beautiful platform. I say this all the time. It's a beautiful platform, but it shows how divisive it is because you have people fighting and arguing over you wasn't a real Nipsey fan. You can't name 5 Nipsey songs. So what? If they saying rest in peace, that's cool. And you got some people like, oh, niggas die every day. This ain't nothing new. This don't affect me. That's cool. That's your opinion. You can't change that person's opinion. Let that person have their opinion. I know you hurting right now, but let that person have their opinion. Fuck it. It is what it is. You can't change everybody. You can't change everybody. And that's I've learned that growing up, that you can't change everybody. I had a homie who he wanted to be a gangbanger so bad, like, and it was like, bro, you got so much potential. Why you want to gangbang, son? Like, you don't get nothing out of gangbanging, my nigga. We ain't gonna, like, being an OG don't get you nothing. You just go to jail. Like, what's the point in that? Or you get killed. Like, what's the point in that, bro? They know you ain't winning nothing with that. But he wanted it so bad, and he needed it. For whatever reason, to validate who he was, he wanted that gangbang life to have him. And he got lucky that he didn't get murked out in the hood. You know what I'm saying? I was with him many a times when we got jumped. We got beat up. Won fights. He lost fights. Like, you got to take them L's. I'm never going to sit here and say I'm undefeated. I done got jumped before. I done got robbed. I got robbed one time in my life. Being out here, not paying attention to shit. Was in the right hood, but at the wrong time. Got jumped by some homies. Well, not some homies, by some niggas who was from a different hood. And you know what I mean? It is what it is. I caught one of the niggas slipping when I got the chance to. And it is what it is. Like, you win some and you lose some. But you live to fight another day. And that's how these opinions go. You live to fight another day. You're going to have your opinion. I'm going to have my opinion. We're not going to get along. We're not going to see eye to eye. It is what it is. I understand that. I'm never going to tell nobody to sit here and you could try to convince somebody to care how you care. Nobody ain't gonna care how you care, bro. Just like when you see Diddy, like I had an issue with the fact that, you know, Diddy was online. He was showing a lot of pictures over the weekend of his children's mother, you know, Kim Porter, after she died, and like people like going at him, crucifying him, like, oh, now you want to say you love her and you care about her, but you was fucking with all these other bitches and you never really cared about her if you was fucking with these other bitches. Like, that man grieving in public, he crying, son. Let him cry. Like it's not your place to go and state your opinion on his page about whatever. And he was nice enough to even you right telling people they writing. You know, you got your right to your opinion. I understand that, but honestly, yo, shut the fuck up. If that man want to sit here and cry on live and do all this other shit, like mind your business, bruh. You ain't gotta pay him no attention. You ain't gotta do that. But you want to do that because it make you feel good about yourself. About like yeah, I'm gonna go on his page and tell him he ain't shit, he ain't this, he ain't that. Like that's not your place. You don't think he got friends that ain't saying and tell him like yo Puff, you should have you know you had your opportunity, you should have took it. B should have stayed with her. You should have made her the beautiful person that she was. You should have embraced her way more than you did. You know what I mean? But that's his business. If he want to cry in public, let him cry. Y'all really got to stop trying to demonize people over action that has nothing to do with you. Like you demonizing a man for grieving about his child's mother. He didn't kill her himself. He didn't allow her to die without trying to help her. Like you don't understand this shit. Like that shit is stupid to me. I commend him for being strong enough to just embrace people and be like, yeah, y'all right. Because me, I would be like, man, get the fuck off my page. Mind your fucking business. Don't even follow me no more. Fuck out of here. I ain't make this page for you. And it ain't even trolls. It's real people that really feel that way. Like you go on their page, they got 1,000 pictures of their family. These are real people that's expressing their opinions to this man. And it's like, bro, mind your fucking business. He didn't write on the post, what do y'all think I should have did with Kim? He just simply put a post up about how he missed her. That's what social media is for you to share your love for the world. Share your appreciation for the world. Share your opinions to the world. That wasn't an opinion. That was a fact for him. In his mind, in his way of thinking, in his way of living, he loved that woman. Let him live, bro. That ain't your place to tell him who he love, who he care about. People too invested in this shit. Like, it's sad. Y'all all are fucking idiots. Whoever went on his page and said that shit to him is a fucking idiot. Honestly, I don't care who you are. You're fucking stupid. It's not your place to tell somebody how to feel. That's like somebody's parent dies and they was beefing at one point in time, and you know that, and you go on the page and say, well, if you really cared about your mother or your father, you shouldn't have said that you hated them and all this other shit. Now you want to act like you care. That's not your place. Mind your fucking business. Shut the fuck up. Nobody asked you for that opinion, bruh. And then niggas always be like just so vested in speaking their mind and not saying shit. You speaking on a man's life who you don't know from a can of paint, about a situation you don't know nothing about him loving someone. And I know people gonna try to twist that into, well, you talking about Nipsey and how he died, and I'm talking about Nipsey. I'm talking about Puff situation. I'm talking about these activists that are dying around the country, dying for black life. How, like, I talk about everything, and I try to give a broader standpoint. I don't try to give my standpoint of how I feel or whatever. I state opinion, I state fact, and I state opportunity for you to come in and combat me about my way of thinking. Because I don't mind a challenge, bro. I'm going to listen. I'm going to learn something. Either way. I'm either learn that you super ignorant, or I'm going to learn that you shed a light on some shit I didn't think about. But what I'm not going to allow you to do is, I'm not going to allow you to dictate to me how I feel, what I feel about something, my opinion about something, what I care about. You're never going to change that. I don't give a fuck who you are. You're never going to change that. But a lot of y'all people on social media, y'all got an issue where y'all think y'all can change somebody, or that y'all opinion matters to somebody because you got the right to text it or comment on whatever you want to comment. Like, you can have your comment and your opinion. Have at it. That's a beautiful thing. Have those opinions, have those comments. I don't give a fuck, though. I don't care. If you don't have no factual statements to tell me about a situation, I don't care. And if it's my own personal situation and I'm expressing myself, I really don't care. Mind your fucking business. And I'm going to tell you, mind your fucking business. I'm not going to be as nice as Diddy and embrace niggas and be like, oh, it's a, what I mean? I appreciate you. You know what I mean? You right. You got the right to say whatever. No, fuck you. Mind your business. And then a lot of y'all followers, because y'all say here, y'all see somebody say something, and then y'all repeat exactly what the person said. Like, your shit said sound any different than what the person said. 15 people saying the same shit is still the same shit. Like, Just because your name is different don't mean you didn't just, well, it ain't even like, yeah, I agree. It's like, you like, yeah, so you didn't love your mom when she was alive and now you love her. Yeah, man, you didn't love your mom when she was alive, now you love her. Yeah, man, you didn't love me. Like, y'all sound like fucking retards. And I'm gonna say retards because I can say that. I don't have no disrespect to the handicapped community and people with special needs, but you sound like you got a fucking issue in your brain where you can't process that somebody just said something and you gonna write exactly what the fuck they just said. You're stupid. I had to go on the soapbox Monday morning rant today, man, because that's how much anger I felt this morning, bro. I had a good ass time at that show. That Millennium Tour shit was popping. That was like the music really is a vibe. Music is really a vibe of the soul, for real, for real. And I'm not even gonna go into the details of that about black people in music, because then that's gonna be, oh, you always trying to make black people just seem like so astronomically greater than, so fucking what? You don't like it, so what? I don't care. I don't care, bro. Black is beautiful. Too much black and too much love equal forever. That's why they always pit us against each other, bro. Fuck out of here. Rich versus poor. However you want to put it. Class versus class. It all boils down to turning us against each other. It's always going to be that way, bro. It's always going to be that way until the end of this shit. Just like now, just like it's reports coming out that it's been shooting. Like it was a nice little quiet time throughout, you know, the last few months in LA. Like it wasn't that many, much gang violence, and Nipsey and a bunch of other rappers was getting together to like go to the police and be like, hey man, we slowing down this gang violence thing so y'all could press up off us and off our community. And as soon as Nipsey gets killed, and you got some dumb little fake blood nigga running around telling everybody he killed Nipsey, I ran up on boy with his daughter and killed him. Well, that's co-inflicting with, this is how you know you're a cloud chaser, my mans, because people in the street who saw him laying in the ground, and so the other dude get shot, his daughter was nowhere in sight. So what's going on? It's like 6 different stories. And this is why conspiracy theories happen, because it's too many fucking people talking about what the fuck they don't know what the fuck they talking about. Yeah, and I know what I said. I know what I just said. It's too many people talking about something they don't know nothing the fuck about just because they want to have something to say. Like, bruh, as soon as Nipsey gets killed, 3 hours later, it's 3 drive-by shootings. Gang violence, all crazy. All in the city now. The city in LA lit. Compton is lit right now. They busting because you killed the stable in the community. And if you don't get the gist of what I'm saying, that's okay. It's okay. I know you don't get it. It's not, and you're gonna say, "Oh, it's not a conspiracy theory." You want some other shit. I'm not high. I'm not drunk. I'm nothing. I just woke up this morning. I prayed when I woke up, like I do every morning, and I'm waiting for my Bible verse to pop up from my app just so I can read it and indulge myself in the Word. Because spiritually, I need to cleanse myself at times, because this world we live in is wicked, and it's wicked because people want it to be wicked. It's people out here that enjoy seeing other people in pain. It's people that enjoy the hate and enjoy the evils in the world. That's what y'all understand. Like come on, bro. Like, you gotta understand, bro. If in a structured community, no matter how vibrant it is as far as financially speaking, if it's progressing towards a better foundation and the constructor of the foundation gets taken out, whether it's jail or you get killed, guess what? That foundation starts to crack again. And guess what? When it crumbles, whoever wants to come in and pick it up, gonna pick it up and do what they want to do with it. And you might not think it's that deep. You know what I mean? They always say that. It's not that deep, man. Ain't nobody don't give a fuck about no rappers. Nobody don't give a fuck about the black community that much. Okay. You think that. You might think that. But like you said, go on Google. Look on Google. Say that same dumb shit when you go on Google and you read about organ donors and how people steal organs from black bodies and all this other wild shit, and how all these people just end up missing and nobody never see them again, and shit don't add up. But you gonna keep thinking shit is sweet. It's sweet, bruh. Like, come on. It's ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous. And people don't get the fact that, like, oh, you upset about him dying, but you're not upset. I'm upset about every time I see a young black man or woman dies, especially at the hands of violence. Whether it's domestic, whether it's police brutality, whether it's black on black, whether it's black on white, whether it's Hispanic on black. I'm upset anytime somebody dies to violence. Straight like that. Even if it's military violence, all types of violence. I don't like violence. I don't like being violent. When you see people die at a young age, Nipsey was 33. I'm about to be 30. My homie Paul died when my nigga Paul died when I was 16, going on 17, in a car accident. That wasn't really considered violence, but he was going through a lot. It was a violence to death because his sister died a few months before that. My homie, Mariah, rest in peace, Paul. Rest in peace, Mariah. You know what I mean? And God bless God bless the dead and his mother. His mother's still alive, kicking. She's an amazingly strong woman because she lost both of her kids and kept on going. And you gotta think about it. Like I say he died in a volatile way because he was drinking himself to death. He was 17. He was a year older than me. He was drinking himself to death slowly but surely. Because he felt like he let his sister down. Like, she died due to domestic violence. A man's just beating her ass so much, and we was young teenagers, so it wasn't a way to tell. Like, you don't want to tell on somebody. You trying to help somebody, and they still going back and forth. And then when they gone, you trying to put all the pieces together. Like, how, son? Like, what could we have done? And being young, you're vulnerable, so you don't really understand what you could have done. Besides being violent, you could have actually tried to save her life by telling somebody. Telling the police, telling somebody. Not just beating a nigga up or running down on a nigga, stomping him out. Like, killing him ain't really gonna do nothing because there's gonna be people after you for killing him. Know what I'm saying? So she died in a violent way. He died in a violent way. Well, he died in a violent way in the sense of he was leading himself down a dark path. You know what I'm saying? And in my years of high school from 2003 to 2007, 8, I was in the hood still back and forth. You know what I mean? Even when I went to school, like, people was dying every day, B. Every day. It was a violent time, bro. Gangbanging had reached the all-time high. If you from Norton, you already know gangbanging really didn't get prevalent to like the mid-90s, late 90s, really. So at the height of it was like 2004, 5-ish. I was in like 9th, maybe 10th grade. I seen it, bro. You couldn't go to certain hoods no more. Like, before, you couldn't go to certain hoods, but it was an understandable thing. Like, oh, my folk live down here. My cousins and them live down here. Oh, all right, you homie through connection. Like, that's your family. You got it. Know what I mean? You like, I was in the GKV. I wasn't born and raised in Georgia King Village, but at a certain point in time, I used to go down there and chill with my cousins on a regular basis in the summertime. Be down there for weeks at a time. Just having a good ass time, bugging out with them. And as I got older, I was like, yo, I don't want to be down here. That shit popping down there. It's too many niggas from different hoods down there. I don't bang with them niggas down there. I'm from Hooterville. I'm from over there by Stuyvesant and 18th, my nigga. I can't go down there because, I mean, even though my cousin's cool with them niggas, like, certain niggas down there I don't bang with at all. And them niggas might want to get it popping on that nigga just because, oh, I know him from chilling with so-and-so, so I don't like this nigga. We gonna jump this nigga. You had to avoid certain shit. I didn't mind going to parties. I didn't mind going to different niggas' hoods. I ain't gonna make it hot for my cousins where they live at every day and be in their neighborhood knowing that my man's done beat up they mans or shot at one of they niggas, and this nigga see me and be like, oh, that's the nigga that be with this nigga, let's get him. Like, nah. Or get his cousin because of that. Like, you had to really start to formulate your life a certain way at 14 and 15 years old. You making adult decisions about, oh, we can't go here because, you know what I mean, they do something different than we do. Or we can't go here because the homie got beef with them and they see us with them, and, you know, connections get made. You feel me? Like, it was times where I seen cats walking down the street in my neighborhood. It is me by myself. And I'll see the homies in the store. And I'm like, oh, shit. They about to see this nigga. And I'll run in the store real quick. Yo, try to change the conversation so that they wouldn't run down on him. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't worth it, bro. Like, y'all gonna beat this nigga to death or shoot him and we gonna be right back in the same circle. Now the block gonna be hot again. Niggas gonna be shooting all over again. Can't go to the store. Can't do this. Can't do that. Like, it was so many limitations that you had to put on yourself. I mean, mind you, you got to go to school. I had little jobs here and there, so like all that constraint on a young man's mind is deprivating, bro. Like, you're living in a depressed state of mind and you don't even know it, because you putting so many limitations and restrictions on yourself, because you gotta abide by these hood rules and these street rules that thugs created. Like it's really crazy to me. And then as I got older, I realized, like, yo, this street shit is stupid, because the rules that was created didn't even make sense. Like, so a nigga could beat me up or rob me, and I gotta go to my big homie and talk to him before I do something, because if I do something without telling him, then it's me acting it's me acting almost false pretenses. And then I gotta get it. They gotta get it. He gotta talk to the homeboy big homie, because now it gotta be a conversation so that a war don't break out. Like, nah, fuck all that, my nigga. Like, you did something to me, I want to do it back to you. Eye for an eye, my nigga. That's it. And that's the end of it. But it wasn't that no more. It became political in the worst way, because it was stupid. The political part of it was stupid. Like, you gangbanging. There's different hoods, different sets. It's not really the true faction of what it is, because most of y'all ain't never been to Cali or Chicago, where all this shit really originated from, and y'all just picking it up off whatever and putting y'all rules to it on top of what you already know from where you from. So all that shit coincides, my nigga, because this go back to structural understanding and structural foundation. You take off the head and the body will follow. So in my hood, it went from being old heads that stole cars and did what they do, selling drugs, getting locked up, doing 10, 20 years, some doing 15, 30. And then that leaves another group of niggas who we gonna say a little more senseless, I should say. A little more senseless. Because the cats that just went away, those was the cats that was the infrastructure. They knew how to do this thing and not be as violent, and know when to be violent, and can turn it off and on, and understand, like, this creates the control. This controls the violence. These people here have controlled the violence. And it may not be a lot. It may seem like a lot, but it's a lot because it's not innocent people. These are people dying is not innocent people in a sense. These are people committing crimes in the street, doing criminal things, and this is the rules of the game. You step out here on this porch, you step off this porch, and you get involved with this criminal life. You have to understand its criminal consequences. So those people leave now. Those greater, those leaders or the foundationers, even though I know that's not a word. So the founders, I say founders to make it sound better. They gone. You know what I'm saying? The founders are gone. They out of here. They out the way. Now you bring in the wannabe founders, the fake leaders, the motherfuckers that don't really know that much and think they know a lot. And they feel like they've been held down this whole time because the big homie never respected them. And the big homie told them, hey, hey, boy, you don't know what you're talking about. Back up out of here. Get up off this. And you know what? That built, all that animosity built, anger. So now that they big homie gone, and that big homie doing 20, 30 years and out the way, guess what? That homie that was getting put down all the time, now he the big bro. He the boss. Guess what he gonna do? All his naysayers and all the people that disrespect him, he gonna kill them. And the ones he don't kill, they gonna go off and start their own set, or their own group, or their own faction. And that starts a war. So now you go from beefing with 2 or 3 neighborhoods to beefing with 4 or 5 neighborhoods. Remind you that if that doesn't happen, you have the big homie inside doing prison time. If he's not as smart as he's supposed to be, he gets jealous of the fact that his niggas out here getting money and doing what they doing. So he starts controlling niggas on the outside. Yo, kill this nigga, kill that nigga. Da-da-da. Same way the Italian mob is. Same way any group or organization is of criminals. A criminal mindset, you have to understand that. That's jealousy in itself. Because you feel like you're the biggest star in the world. And if you get put behind the bars for whatever reason, you're going to want to do something to somebody. You're going to feel like somebody snitched on you. You ain't going to ever believe in your mind that you fucked yourself up at no point in time. That's just real shit. I watch documentaries. I done read books about the Italian mob. I done read books about gangbangers since I was just youngin', 12 and 13. I had to, because I had doubters, bro. I might not be where I might not be where I want to be in life right now in this moment, but I had doubters my whole life. And there's people that say that shit and I don't believe it, but I'm real to talk with it. I could tell you about it. I was in second grade when I first found out people that don't like you. I went to Boylan Street Elementary School. It's not an elementary school anymore, but I was in second grade there. I had this teacher, I forgot her name, but I could describe it to her T. She's a light skinned bitch with little ass eyes, and she looked like Mimo but with little ass eyes and a big ass head. I can't remember her name, but the homies, if any of the homies, my nigga Thomas who went to school there with me, he probably could remember her. There was a couple of other people that went to my nigga Keon. You know, he about to come home. I ain't gonna say the homie Keon. You know what I mean? He might not say I'm his nigga anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because niggas grew apart. You know, that's part of life. But I knew that nigga since second grade, so I'll say it like that. He could vouch for this. Like, Shorty hated my guts. She hated my guts for whatever reason. Like, she met my mother one time at like a parent teacher conference. My mother didn't like some of the shit she said. Cause I like in school, I really didn't like paying attention like that. Like, cause school was boring to me because we talked about the same shit, and I knew that I like to read on my own. Only thing I really liked guidance in was math, because I didn't know how to do certain things in math, and I wanted to know, like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, math was interesting to me, but reading, history, I didn't care about none of that because I could read for myself. I don't need you to tell me about what you want me to read. I'll just give me the book. I'll read the whole damn book. It don't bother me. I read a whole social studies book in second grade by myself. Read the book from front page to the cover, and then asked my father and my cousins and my uncles and my grandfather about the times they was living in and what they knew, because I felt like the book wasn't telling me the whole story. And my father would be like, "Oh, go to the library and get a book, or just do more research on the situation. Like, don't just read about what's in the Civil War. Read the backstory of the Civil War. Why I started all this other stuff." My father always challenged me because he felt like knowledge was power. That's what he always told me. He was low-key like a 5% of Muslim cat at points and times in his life. So I understood why he did that. He was just trying to give me that knowledge. So, you know what I mean? I had that second grade. Like, you know what I mean? Second grade, I'm 8 years old. My teacher hated my guts. She used to keep me out of class. Send me to in-school detention. And I wasn't even doing shit. I wasn't a bad kid. Like, I wasn't smacking niggas and pushing niggas off their desks. Kick me out of class. Get out, Jamar. Third grade, I had one of my brother's best friends at the time. His sister was my teacher. She used to tell me all the time. She was young at the time. She was a young teacher, so, you know what I mean? She not gonna take a lot of shit. She ain't like me. She was like, "Yo, Jamar, you got a smart ass mouth." And I'm like, "Yo, I can't help it. Like, some of the shit that we reading, shit don't make sense to me because I know it's deeper than this." And she used to be like, "Just read what I'm telling you, and you can do your own stuff on your own time." And I would get into it with her, and she'd send me to Miss Smith class. And I'd be like, "All right, Miss Davis." I'd be in Miss Smith class. Miss Smith was an old black teacher, but she was real as hell. She used to be telling me all the time, "Jamar, you're a good kid." She's like, "You just have a bad way of expressing yourself. And one day, you're going to be able to express yourself in a beautiful way, and people are going to care about what you're saying. So be careful. Understand, you have to be careful." And this is third grade. I'm 8, 7 going on 8. No, I'm 8 going on 9 probably. 7, 8, 9, somewhere in that range. Just, it's a little fuzzy during that time. And, you know what I mean? I did my thing. Like, I was out here. I'd be in the street still. Like, I mean, my brother's supposed to pick me up from school. I would walk home sometimes. My father's supposed to pick me up from school sometimes. If he couldn't, I'd be in the streets just walking around because I was the youngest at the time. This is before my little brother was born. So there was nobody to check me. I could just walk around and do what I wanted to do. My school wasn't like Alexander and Boylan was like right around the corner from my house. I lived in Norwood. It's like a few blocks away. So, I mean, I used to walk through Sunset, Lindsley, all that, and just go home. Like, seeing niggas, you know what I mean, stealing cars, coming through. Boom, boom. Mind you, I was 5 or 6 years old preview to school. You know what I mean, 5 and 6 years old. I used to be in the summertime. If I wasn't at my aunt's house, I was with my oldest brother. My oldest brother, he stole cars. Sold drugs. Like, it was there for me to understand and see shit at a young age and be like, this shit ain't gonna get me nowhere. Cause I seen my brother not going nowhere. I seen it. I seen my father cursing him out, whooping his ass, telling him, yo. And my father was in our lives thoroughly, and my brother still turned out the way he did because he wanted to. And that's why I tell people, sometimes it's not about how you were raised, it's about who you are as a person. Like, my mother and father never shielded us from the streets and never told us, oh, you know what I mean, I'll kill you, this, that, third, made threats. They just tell you, this not for you. My father, this ain't for you, bro. You don't want to live this life. My brother still chose to live that life. He paid for it a lot of ways. You know what I mean? And I pray for him every day because his mind is never going to be at peace for the shit he's seen and the shit he did on his own. That's just what it is. And I try not to live in his image in a sense, and I try to learn from all his mistakes. I'm giving you the backstory of that from the doubter situation, because I feel like that's evident for you. I mean, it's important for you to know, not evident. It's important for you to know that part of, preview to me going into school. I've seen the streets, so I know it's there. There ain't nothing there for me. I have to pay attention to school at a young age. I knew this. I'm in 4th grade. Miss Lombardi, she was a cool old white Italian lady, cool as fuck. She used to always show me love, hug me, tap me on the head. Jamar, you're a great kid. I used to do good in her class. That was probably one of my best years in school as a youngin', was 4th grade, because this old white lady didn't know me from a can of paint, loved me. Miss Smith, shout out to Miss Smith too. She wasn't my 3rd grade teacher, so I can't. She was still an important part of my life though, because she gave me the same kind of love, that grandma love. 5th grade, I had a teacher. I'm not gonna say her name because I don't want to get her no. I don't give a fuck. Miss Hoffman Mature. She didn't like me or whatever. She said I was a bad kid. She hated my guts, all this other shit, because she felt like I was a disturbance in her class, and I was just trying to be popular and all this other shit. Which I never felt that way, because I never felt popular in my life. So I didn't need I wasn't trying to get notoriety or anything by being a nuisance to her. I just didn't like the fact that you were as a grown ass woman. Mind you, she had to be probably 30, 31 maybe. And she used to have these little girls looking up to her and all this other stuff. And I'm like, yo, I understand you trying to empower these young girls, but what about us boys? You know what I mean? We young black men, why you ain't all helping us out? She would help out a couple of little homies here and there, because they would kiss her ass and tell her how beautiful she was, and oh yeah, the makeup look good. And I'm not doing all that shit, because I'm a boy. I don't give a fuck about how your makeup look. I don't even like makeup. My mother don't wear makeup. My aunts don't wear makeup, so I don't like that shit. You look ugly. And I'm gonna say you look ugly because I don't like it. And she took that to heart, and she used to call my mother to school, and my mother didn't like her, so that made it worse on me, because my mother didn't like her. She really felt some type of way. We had hella parent teacher conferences, because my mother would come to school, and the principal at the time, Mr. Montrose, would be like, or was he the vice principal? He might have been the vice principal, but Mr. Montrose was like, I can't take him out the class because this is the best class for him to be in, because he's not a dumb kid. I can't put him in one of these slower classes because he's not a dumb kid. He has to be in his class. I'm like, cool, whatever. In her class, shit was going fine. I mean, she started calling my father instead of calling my mother. So that kind of made the relationship a little worse, because my father he didn't give a fuck about my opinion. My mother cared about my opinion. My mother would be like, listen, I believe you when you say that this teacher don't like you, because I could see the bitch in her. I see the bitch in her. I could tell she don't like you for whatever reason. She don't like your attitude, whatever it is, and she think you disrespectful. My father, he didn't give a fuck about none of that. He'd be like, you going to school to get an education. I will whoop your ass, my nigga. That's all. I don't got time for none of that extra shit. I will beat your ass before I let you disrespect somebody who trying to teach you. Cool. So it was always a disdain between me and her. She told me I wasn't gonna be shit because I don't take school serious, all this other dumb shit. Which that she didn't take time to get to know me, because she only seen me act out towards people who disrespected me. I was small, and I was always small, so I took disrespect in a way different light than other people. I'm not gonna let you disrespect me, especially as a young little dude. I'm gonna fight you, bro. You disrespect me, you knock my book on the floor, I'ma holla at you. You kick my chair, I'ma holla at you. You try to push me out my chair, I'ma holla at you. That's how I was when I was young. I was very, 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 very aggressive. I was with it at any point. 6th grade come, I had Miss Davis, cool old lady, Miss Hall Davis, cool old lady. It was like a mixed class, because we was helping kids who was English was their second language, so we was helping them a lot. But I met one of my best friends there too, my boy Brandon. Me and him clicked automatically, because we was same mind state. It's funny that as we grew up together, and I still know him to this day. I know him since we was 11 years old. His uncles and father grew up with my father and uncles, so it was a commonality. It was funny how we just end up being friends and shit. So I had got transferred I got transferred into her class, because in the beginning of the year I was in this class, and they was like, yo, you can't be in this class, this shit not for you, it's a bunch of dumb little niggas in here, this not the class for you. And they put me in a mediocre, not too accelerated, mediocre accelerated, because we was also helping kids that their language was a second language, so we was teaching them how to read as well as reading shit ourselves, that for the first time. So then 7th grade comes, I get into Miss Hoffman Mature class again, because she transferred from Alexander to Velsburg Middle. For all my Norton niggas who know Velsburg, Miss Hoffman Mature, my teacher again. The first few days, she just was always running her mouth, and I just couldn't take it no more. Bro, I don't give a fuck about who like you and who don't like you. I know you don't like me. I know I don't like you. And we clashed. And off the rip, boom, she kicked me out. I got in a lot of trouble in middle school because of her. Basically, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. She was really, a dickhead, but at times. And I was like, cool. She didn't like me. A lot of people didn't like, a lot of administrators didn't like me because I was one of those kids that was like, you have authority to change a lot of shit and you don't want to change it. You want everybody to kiss your ass. And this goes back to my point of I had doubters. And so I'm telling you about my youth, because this is the stages where people turn to gangbanging is 4th through 8th grade. That the transition young in the age of 9 through 14 or 13. You know what I mean? I had the doubters. I had the negative energy in my life, but I had positive in my life as well. Besides my parents, I had my peoples and people around me that cared about me. And it goes back to also to the ass kissers. When you're at the top and you feel like you're a leader, if somebody's not kissing your ass, you're going to go against them. So in these natural conversations, like I had beef with niggas who wanted to be ass kissers throughout this time because they felt like, oh, you're not going to kiss this person ass and that's going to fuck them up helping me. So I'm going to fuck you up or I'm going to try to fight you. And this was what made me aggressive and made me be almost violent towards a lot of people who I shouldn't have to been violent with, but because they were controlled by their affection or their need for prosperity from the person that they considered the leader, that's why they went against me, which made me start my own faction of people who was against the leader and also bring that same energy to the leader. See what I'm saying? It's just like gangbanging, like I said, in the mafia and all that other shit. If it's the leader of the group gets locked up or gets restrained in any way or reads a resistance, and that resistance people from his leadership or from his gang or from his affiliation start to go over to the resistance, now it's a war between his leadership and the people that believe in him and the resistance. You get what I'm saying? All throughout time you will see it. All throughout time you're going to see that connection, bro or sis. You're going to see that connection of, yeah, man, I like this person, I love this person, or whatever the case may be, but I want my own. Or I feel the walls closing in on me. Y'all telling on me. I need to get somebody. It's all there, bro. It's all throughout history. It's deep in the rap, bro. It's all throughout history. You can see it. You see this negativity. You see this anger. It wasn't just one thing that did it, bro. It was not just one thing that did it. You have to understand it's deeper than that, yo. And I know a lot of people don't get it. I know a lot of people won't get it. I'm not asking you to. I'm not. But you gotta understand one thing about this world and the way this world is. That I'm not woke. I'm not asleep. I'm not anything. I'm just a person. I'm a human being that has a deeper understanding about some things and can make connections with certain things and analyze things a certain way. And like I said, I don't know if it was a setup with Nipsey. I feel like it could be. I don't understand that how, like, this is like how The Wire ended when Omar got killed, in a sense. Not that Nipsey was an Omar figure in the sense of he was violent, but his mystique and his respect level that he got from people who knew him and people who affiliated with him, like, you know how some celebrities get that negative energy, like, oh, well, you ain't really from the hood, you ain't really this, you ain't really that. Like, I got folks that lived in Cali at a point in time, and I got cousins that live in Cali, and they tell you, like, yo, Nipsey was that dude. Like, Nipsey was a part of the hood. He was out here every day, Slauson and Crenshaw every day, dog. When he wasn't out here busting moves for his businesses, he was showing love to the hood. So it blows my mind to think that a young dude would run up on him by himself, shoot him multiple times and shoot him in the head, kill him, and then go brag about it on social media. And then all of a sudden all this other shit breaks out, like all this killings start happening right after. Like, it's a shocker and an astonishment to me. So naturally my first pretense is to believe that it's something deeper than that, because throughout history of being in America and being black in America, it's always been something there. MLK, when he got killed by the government. They admitted to it in 1999. They tried to kill his mother too. The FBI have released files ever since J. Edgar Hoover died about how he went out his way to make sure black people got harassed. You know what I'm saying? Sam Cooke is another example. They say he got killed by a hooker, but the girl worked for somebody who was a part of the mafia. Sam Cooke was trying to do his own thing, trying to get his own distribution deal and own the rights to his masters and all that during a time where black folks were supposed to do that. Where they was only paying, they was paying you, if you was a black artist, they was paying you with cocaine and Cadillacs. These are true stories. People would tell you. Quincy Jones was there. He seen it. Sammy Davis Jr. used to call Sam Cooke, tell Sam Cooke all the time, like, yo, bro, mind your business. They don't want to get it. These people will kill you, bro. Let it go. So if it's proof there, and this goes back to my point in the beginning of, if it's proof there and you say Google it, why are you ignoring it? Know what I mean? I like I said in the beginning of this whole podcast, like, bro, I done talked to people, bro. I done read, I done talked to people, I done listened to the street ways of life from all vast majority of people I know and people I didn't know. Had conversations with old heads and OGs, and you have to understand that if a system is built to keep you in a certain path and a certain way, that's just what it is. If you're systematically taking out leaders or people of a community that are leaders, that's what's going to happen. It's not going to change all of a sudden. They're not going to just stop doing it. Like, oh yeah, we killed Martin Luther King. That was enough. We destroyed the Black Panther movement. That was enough. You see the violence in the police and the police controlled by media. Even if it happens to white people more, even if it happens to more cops kill white people, ask yourself, why does the media only show in black people when it happens to black people? White people, you need to ask yourself that as well. Why is the media always, like, let's stop fighting amongst each other for a second and just ask these questions. Like, ask questions before we just make assumptions. Ask questions. I'm not asking you to believe anything. I'm not asking you to believe no conspiracy theories. I'm not asking you to be all of a sudden be a revolutionary. I'm just asking you to ask questions, bro. If somebody could admit to you, hey, Oliver North brought drugs into America and put them in urban cities. The war on drugs was a bunch of bullshit. Why we don't ask more questions then? Why? Why is cocaine still being brought into this country by the pounds? Why? I'm just asking how to ask questions, bro. I'm not asking you to do nothing else. You say you could Google all this shit. Google it then. Get the answers yourself. Get the answers yourself, so you don't have to sit here and fight with people that you don't want to fight with. I'm just asking a question because I need to understand that if you're gonna say that there's no conspiracy theories, nobody's being targeted by anybody, and black versus white is just a concept to have us just go at each other for no reason, or it's just people itself doing this. No, that doesn't make sense. Racism exists for a reason. Black versus white exists for a reason. The structures wanted it that way. Poor versus rich exists for a reason. If you don't believe that, I really would just want to ask you how you don't believe that. There's nothing to do with conspiracy. It's just common sense. That's like asking, why do you stop at a red light? Because the law says the red lights mean stop. Yellow lights mean slow down and prepare to stop. Green lights mean go. It's clear for you to go. So I need answers like that to these questions, bro. Show a white person getting killed by the police, getting smacked by the police, getting stomped out by the police. Don't just show it when it happens to a brown or a black person. Just like in how in movies they show everything about white people all throughout time. One of the first major claim white movies was a white terrorist group saving America from black people. The most critically acclaimed film of all time. Birth of a Nation was about a terrorist group of white people coming to save a town from black people. Cinematic brilliance is what they call it. This is taught in predominantly white private and public college institution theater directorial programming. What? Come on. Not even wake the fuck up, man. Just pay a fucking attention, bro. You can't be that ignorant. You can't be, yo. You can't be ignorant to the facts, man. You can't be. I'm done ranting and raving, y'all. Appreciate y'all time, man. Understand that today was this was a rant more so than a podcast, because I needed to understand some things. I needed to ask some questions. I needed people to understand the concept of foundation and leadership and how those things coincide with how our community is constantly and consistently being attacked. You know what I mean? Besides Nipsey dying and the hood across America being in disarray, whether it's Chicago, New York, Boston, fucking Huntsville, Alabama, like Nashville, Memphis, all these places, bro. You go all these places in the hoods, man. It's the same thing, and that doesn't make sense. How we all from different areas and we all dealing with the same shit, bro. That's like when you go to jail. All jails, mostly all the jails are the same, right? And you saying, oh, well, it's opportunity there, blah, blah, blah. Like y'all, it's people that's gonna say it's opportunity there, but then you're gonna see it too, where banks ain't gonna, whether your credit's good or not, you're not gonna get that loan all the time. We as black people, when we invest, we gotta invest with each other. We gotta start doing it. We gotta find a way. Go to these black banks, get these loans. Stop going to Wells Fargo. Them interest rates is crazy. Bank of America interest rates crazy. They just took the Trump administration just took 18, but they didn't just take it. They're trying to take money away from Special Olympics, bro. And you don't think this shit is weird, bro? He been trying to get rid of Obamacare since he got into office. And he probably just gonna change the name of it just so he could have claim on it. Understand that a half black man became president, but because his skin was darker, people hated his guts, hated his ideals and what he stood for. He didn't do really shit for black people, and white people still hated him. You have to understand that was deep rooted. That is taught. That is believed. That is slept. That's what you eat, sleep, breathe with. If you hate somebody who has no effect on you directly, and sometimes it's helping you indirectly, before helping their own people or being able to help their own people, they have to help everybody in a mass, because they only help their people. They're considered a traitor to the country. If you go anywhere as a black person or a white person and you say you want to help black people, you are considered a traitor to America. That's real talk. Because you're going to have Asian people say, what about us? You're going to have, say, white people who say, what about us? You're going to have other brown people saying, what about us? Everybody's going to feel disenfranchised. But if black people are excluded from a situation, nobody cares. Nobody cares except the black people and a few sprinkle of white people and a few sprinkle of Spanish people. You have to understand that is sad, where we are still at the bottom of the totem pole, next to the Native Americans who still exist in their tribes and on their own land. It's all there for you, bro. It's all there for you, sis. The riots of the early 1900s and late 1800s, where they were thriving black communities. We had our own banks. We had our own businesses there. And they were completely depleted, blown up, literally blown up by white racist people. Y'all want to talk about Google and shit? Google your history, bro. Google black history in America. It's real grim. It's real dark. It's a dark story. No pun intended. Love yours, man. Too much black, too much love, equal forever. I'm going to always say that. Shout out to Jay-Z. They ain't gonna take Jay-Z because they know that'll cause too much problems, like I said before. I mean, shout out to all the homies out there doing their thing, busting moves to get there where they gotta get to. Whether you got a degree, you got a trade school certification, you an electrician, you a plumber, you a doctor, you a lawyer, you a nurse, you a fucking, you a nurse, you bag groceries, you a supermarket manager, you a call center manager, call center rep, you a technician, and you an electrical technician, you a construction worker, you own your own construction business, you a philanthropist, you a financial advisor. Whatever you do, shout out to you, especially if you black, you beautiful. Don't ever forget that. Whether you light skin, you dark skin, or you brown skin, mad love to you. And I'm gonna say that to say this. It's no disrespect to nobody else. I'm just showing love to my people, man. You can't be mad at me for showing love to my people. I got love for some white people too. I got love for some Spanish people too. I got love for Asian and other brown communities as well. It's all love to everybody, man. But I gotta show love to my people because it's going back to them dark times, man. If it ain't them killing us, it's them showing us killing each other. And that's the one thing that you can't have a balance of. You can't have both. Can't have both. The media love showing us killing each other, boy. They love showing that shit. So don't give them more to give it to. Talk to these young cats out there. When you get a chance, talk to them. Know what I mean? I had that conversation with these young boys and girls like, hey, there's other ways and means of out here getting it. I know it look dark right now, but find another way. Know what I mean? Don't allow the system to dictate to you what it's gonna be. You change the system. Don't let the system change you. Cause it's the only way you're gonna make it out of this thing. It's the only way you're gonna make it out of this thing. And people are thinking like, oh well, ain't nobody gonna no, son, listen. You gotta understand that gotta understand this thing. I didn't mean to pause like that. I'm trying to read something that just popped up on my screen. But you gotta understand, like, man, this, if you think this shit ain't deeper than rap, man, you wake the fuck up. You gotta wake the fuck up, yo. It's different. It's different out here. It's different. It's just real talk. But like I said, I appreciate y'all for listening. You know what I mean, taking your time out your day, Monday morning rants and shit. I appreciate your time, man, for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, everybody entitled to their opinions. Everybody entitled to say what they want to do, but also taking the effect of what you saying to somebody, yo. Just because you got the right to say it don't mean you could disrespect somebody. Because you got to understand there's consequences to your actions. There's always consequences to your actions, man. It really is. No matter what you say and do, it's consequences to your actions. No matter how much somebody love you, no matter how much somebody hate you, and vice versa, it's always consequences to your actions and your words sometimes. But you know what I mean? Like I said, love yours, man. That's all I can say is love yours. Peace, love, all that good stuff. Keeping it funky with y'all. Enjoy the rest of y'all Monday and the rest of y'all week if y'all don't hear from me for the rest of the week.
Now you hear what I've been saying? Dedication. Boxing homies 3-on-1, got DP, but I ain't dropped. Turp on me, here I come. Spin around the block, they broke on me. Said I ran a stop sign, but that's a lie. I spent my whole life staring at the stage, playing Sega, daddy smoking Sherm, mama playing spades, catching vapors. Grandma said I get some Jordans for my grades. That's my baby. When she died, my heart broke 100 ways. I spent my whole life trying to make it, trying to chase it. The cycle of a black man divided, trying to break it. You take a lost shit, don't cry about it, just embrace it. Find a setback for major comeback, that's my favorite. My nigga L said you do it song with Nip. Kate, I hear better grip. I said here, man, first you hear the words out his lips about flourishing from the streets to black businesses. Level 4, y'all living, giving to false imprisonment. Listen close, my nigga, it's bigger than deuces and foes. close, my nigga. Since elementary, we close, my nigga. You're straight like that. Give you the game, go back to the turf and give it right back. For generations, we've been dealt bad hands with bad plans. Prove your dedication by hopping out Grand Hams. I'm at the premiere, politicking with Top Nip and Snoop. Damn, clock watching the way we cool. Dedication.